Welcome to the channel. I'm Simon and this is Brett.
Hello, and here's your wish to punch in the nose.
How nice.
And he's waving and he's wondering. It's a bit odd.
Okay. Before we start, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody that has subscribed to our channel. And I ask that if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so because it is completely free to do. And also, right now, we've got our Porsche Championship for 2021 continuing.
And a storm.
It is raining at the moment. It's the beginning of July and it's chucking down rain. So if you can hear that, I apologise, but there's not a lot I can do about it.
Yeah, so let's get a weather machine.
But anyway, if you watch that, you will see that we are sort of doing different things with editing and different cameras, like different camera angles, because I've actually now managed to get 2 cameras. So
Yay.
Hopefully, check out those racing videos, because we're going to be doing a lot more, and it ain't all just going to be Porsches. It's just that we're using them to just test a few things out.
And so, also,
what?
Bear in mind they could improve.
Very punny. But today, we're going to be taking a look at a model from 2001, about that time. And back in 2000s, the early 2000s, I didn't have the internet. And the internet wasn't as popular as it is now. So if you went into a shop for Diecast, chances are that was the only place you were going to see it. And so if you saw the last one on the shelf, you had to buy it. And that's what happened with this today. Now, it's one of my favourite models, which is the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard, which growing up has always been one of my favourite TV shows. And funnily enough, in the early 1980s, my mum had a Ford Cortina Mark III in bright orange. So it was fantastic. It was like a bright orange car on TV that I loved watching. And then my mum drove me around not that fast like, in a bright orange car. But that's what the imagination's for, isn't it?
Yeah, they definitely imagine a car that's probably a giant thing.
So why did I mention that if you saw this in the shop and it was the last one, you had to buy it and you couldn't use the internet? Well, that's because...
That door's wonky.
That's because if there was something wrong with your model at that point in time, unless you took it back and just asked for a refund and then didn't have that model ever again, there wasn't a great deal you could do about it. So quality control wasn't always the best thing. And we're going to be taking a look at some of my best models, but my worst models as well. So this is the first in that series. And I only found most of this out recently. I always knew that the door on this side was a little bit off, but I found something else out when I was trying to make a video on this car before, and we didn't carry on with it because I was kind of frustrated when I found out the other problem.
Frustrating and incredibly swearing.
I did not.
Yes, you did. You always do.
So, we're going to get this out of the box now and take a close look at it and see what the problems are and why quality control let me down.
Like it always does.
So here's the car out of the box. Now, something that you might notice is this door here doesn't quite line up.
Do you think it's been thinking?
Hey?
Do you think it's been thinking?
What do you mean?
It's been thinking outside the box.
That's just terrible.
It's a great joke.
I know I said we're improving the videos, but I didn't want no puns in it. But this...
That's not very nice.
It's very, like, it's not moving in there. It's very stiff. They've made it stiff and it's just staying there. And it doesn't want to push in. It won't fit very well at all. Which is a bit annoying to say itself because it shouldn't be out of line. But the other problem, which is the kind of complete opposite, if you like, is this door here lines up perfectly. But it also opens quite easily and it's quite loose. Like, if you were to pick it up, it does open on its own. Now, I might put something in there to hold it shut one day, but it is kind of frustrating that the quality on this one isn't actually that great. Now, what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to show some close-ups of it And when we do, I'm going to show on these close-ups the reason why this side doesn't shut properly. And it's actually, can you see the reason why?
That bit's too long.
There's a bit of plastic on the plastic trim. Just inside here, there's actually too long. So it stops this door from being closed. And this door, just for some reason, decides that it likes to open. Even though in the Dukes of Hazzard, the doors are meant to be welded shut.
That's
So
ironic.
I think it's a beautiful model. It has steering front wheels, which a lot of old models used to.
Wait. The steering wheel moves too.
Yeah, but because you ain't meant to open the door,
What?
I didn't put my finger in there at the time. I was just doing it with my fingers. But the steering wheel does move. It is one of my favourite models.
As long as you don't look at it too closely.
I keep it inside the box. The box is pretty good. It's got some nice pictures inside it. I don't look at it too closely all the time. I know it's not actually far away from where I am. If I look straight ahead and up slightly, that's where it lives on the shelf. I see it all the time. I just forget about this being on here. Dukes of Hazzard is one of my childhood favourite TV shows. This is one of my favourite models. And I'd still love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the turntable in a second. And then once we put it on the turntable, we're then going to have some very close-up shots of all the different parts of the car. Inside, outside, underneath. We'll show you that part there where the plastic's a bit off. But this is by ERTL. And unfortunately, because it was the early 2000s and you didn't have much choice of what you can do or where you could go, quality control let me down a little bit. But without further ado, let's get it on the turntable and we'll take a close look at it. Right, so as this is going round, you'll see what a nice looking model it actually is. And in all honesty, if you find these now on eBay, they are quite expensive. And I actually, back in 2001, paid £30 for this. Nowadays, you could be looking anywhere up to and above £100 for this model, which is a lot of money when you think about it. I actually wish they'd do a new version of it, like one of the companies like Jada. I'd love for them to do a model of it, but unfortunately, I don't think anybody ever will again.
Why?
Because there's some stuff going on in the world today, and I think the model company might look at it and think it could be a bit too risky to make. Mainly because this was based in like Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, which is in the southern parts of America, and there's a certain part of this car that some people don't like anymore. So I don't honestly think they're going to ever make another model of it. I could be wrong, and I really hope I am. Right, so what do you think? Do you like this model?
Sorry, it's just got a few too many problems.
It's got
That door.
It's got two problems.
That door.
But I can overlook those.
There's another thing I saw earlier.
What?
I don't know.
Don't pick nothing else out, for God's sake.
That bit.
That's just because of the door. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to get some nice, hopefully fancy shots of the interior of the car, the engine of the engine bay, and all the outside of the car. We're not going to be talking through that, so enjoy a close look at this car, and we'll be back to say goodbye at the end. Well, we hope you enjoyed taking this look at my model of the General Lee. And if you do enjoy our videos and you want to see some more, please remember to subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out. And for now, I'd like to say a big thank you for watching. And we'll hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. And he's waving. And he wants to ask you a question.
What?
Do you think it would be possible to maybe put a chair on there, get some sort of thing to put there, and drive off?
You've been watching Mr. Bean.
Would you think that would be possible?
If you are Mr. Bean.